Hey, what's up, players? This is Hall of Famer Teddy Long, and right now we're getting ready to have a six-pack challenge match with Potsy and Tino on the Big Podcast Show. Holla at a player.
It's the Potsy and Tino Show. Talk the facts and let opinions flow. Laughs, hot takes, and mini rants. Two best buds with a mic and a plan.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, the Pots and Pans Network brings to you its tag team champions of the world. That's right, the Road Dog Tino Gray, the badass Rob Potsy Potchak. That's right, the Potsy and Tino Show. Two best buds with a mic and a plan. and we were just talking about that plan for this episode. So, folks, I'm gonna tell everybody straight up, and I'll probably mention it multiple times throughout the show. I have no voice.
I don't never stopped him before.
I don't really have the con crud, so I'm kind of glad I didn't just end up with like the standard. I've been around 450,000 people all weekend. You know,
I'm surprised you didn't get that.
The good thing is that I was behind the booth side for most of it, so I wasn't like face front with people for most of the show. But yeah, so Tino, you know, tonight might be the biggest 10-second salute that we ever have to do, and I guess technically it's 20 seconds because we did lose two WWE Hall of Famers this week. We lost someone who absolutely changed the industry and did it in such a way that was so remarkable that you can't talk about pro wrestling without talking about Ozzy Osbourne. And the other one's Hulk Hogan.
That's what I was going to say. It just amazes me, though. It was kind of like everything I read and listened to watching Ozzy, because, you know, he did his like final farewell concert, and then he passed a week later. But he was like pain meds because of his back. He stopped taking his pain meds because he wanted to be there in the moment, to the point where they had to wheel him out in a wheelchair and they just sat him on like this big black throne. It was cool, and he sat there and sang his songs. You could tell in his voice he was still in pain, and it was beautiful. A lot of people, everything I read, it's like it was a love letter not only to his fans, it was a love letter to, you know, to Sharon and the kids, and it was a way to say goodbye. So it was like he knew that was going to be it.
Yeah, and it's like a lot of people as they get to that point, you know, if they're going through cancer treatments or anything else, you know, they do whatever they can to be here for everyone else as long as possible, and then at some point they're just like, I don't want to fight anymore.
Yeah, I think it's because he had like, it was his back. I don't think he had any cancer or anything. It was like it was Parkinson's, I think it was.
Yeah,
he was going with
Parkinson's.
And he, you know, and a lot of people were like sharing and everybody put this concert together. It was kind of like he held on to do that show, and he did what he wanted to do. And he's like, "Hey, I've done it all." And you think about it, he Ozzy lived a fucking hellacious life, dude. He lived that rock star life. He it's probably one thing he could probably say, "Hey, I did it. I had a great life. I did everything I wanted to do." You know,
and to know that Sharon stuck with him through all of it was incredible. You know, like the song "Mama, I'm Coming Home" is all about like him wanting to stop touring and go be with his wife.
I thought it was for his mom, and
you know,
even
I had always heard it was about Sharon,
and it could be even on a smaller scale, dude. I can imagine. I don't travel as much as I do, I'm sure, but even when I was doing, you know, shows going back and forth, just to think about what. I'm out doing my thing, and Nicole's here with the kids doing things. So you know what I'm saying? And I was on a smaller scale, so I can imagine, you know, what it was like for Sharon.
Yeah, especially when you're talking about like him doing stadium show,
yeah,
you know, all that type of stuff. So I mean, remarkable life. And you know, like for everyone calling him the Prince of Darkness, when I actually met him, he was such a sweetheart. It was absolutely.
Everybody said, and it's a persona, right? It's a gimmick, just like Stone Cold says it all the time. It might be you turned up to 100. Excuse me. That's like me when it's me but I'm more in your face. I'm blah, than I normally am. And I think that's what it was. You had to separate Ozzy from that gimmick. Now, when he bit the head off a bat, that might have been much.
But the whole story about that was that he thought someone threw a rubber rat on the stage or a rubber bat on the stage,
Yeah.
so he picked it up and bit the head of it off, and come to find out it was a real bat. Leave it to
First of all, I wouldn't have done it. I wouldn't have done it. But second of all, I'm trying to be funny. Oh, show's over. I'm not. No. Good night.
Well, it's kind of like you say that, and I remember when Guns N' Roses and Metallica were touring together, and Axl Rose came out, tried to sing one song, and apparently like his voice wasn't there, so he just was like, "Fuck this, I'm out," and he just got off stage. And Metallica was closing the show that night, so Metallica was like, "Well, fuck you," and they just came out and they played like an extra long set that night because of all of it. But like Ozzy did actually have a background with the WWE. Like, he'd been on the show multiple times. He was
at WrestleMania, the first WrestleMania.
Yeah, he was at WrestleMania. He was
Rockin' Wrestling.
Yeah, during one of those times where they were having the guest GMs. He was a guest GM. In fact, his whole family, the Osbournes, were on that night. And it's. He was a character, so he fit in. It wasn't like some of these celebrities where you're like, oh god, another one. Like for example, I don't know if you heard, but apparently the WWE has scrapped all plans with Travis Scott. And I guess that's why now wrestlers have been given the green light to go ahead and just trash him. But anyways, wanted to make sure that we talked about Ozzy on here. We also have this other very polarizing figure that really did put wrestling on a national and international map. And on top of that, like we got to talk about all the positives first. Yeah. The WWE wouldn't be where it is today if it wasn't for what Hulk Hogan did during the 80s.
And then he was a spark of the Monday Night Wars with the NWO thing. So I mean, he helped two companies.
Yeah, up until now, he was probably the biggest star of both of the previous generations of pro wrestling.
Now TNA.
At that point, he thought he was a wrestling genius.
Mm-hmm.
And it was him and Bischoff, and they were coming up with stuff. But in the 80s, we don't have the Rock and Wrestling connection without him.
Mm-mm.
We don't have WrestleMania 1, 2, and 3 being as big as they are, and having the Pontiac Superdome. Was the Superdome, right? No, it's the Silverdome. Pontiac Silverdome. It's the Superdome down in Louisiana when he screwed that one up at WrestleMania 30. But you had that. You're absolutely right. When he became the third man of the NWO, here was a guy who's you could look at it and go, his wrestling career is garbage in WCW. He's showing up on the 605 taped show before that, and then all of a sudden he's the third man. And I tell this story all the time, Tino. We always talk about how we got into wrestling. Well, I remember that I stopped watching wrestling because it was when I found it was fake because of Hulk Hogan. It was when Earthquake crushed his chest, and they asked everybody to send letters into, to make sure that the Hulkster, had everybody's prayers to come back. Then I found out that he's filming a TV show. Now, this is before the internet. So for you to find out that he's filming a TV show or whatever, it's because he's just an idiot and talking about it on like Entertainment Tonight. So anybody that talks about kayfabe back then and Hulk Hogan being in a film and being on Entertainment Tonight and Access Hollywood and all these other bullshit shows, like that really, when I was like 10 years old, 12 years old, I was like, whoa, Santa Claus isn't real, But at the same time, what brought me back to pro wrestling was when Hulk Hogan was beating up Roddy Piper as part of the NWO, and I just happened to like be flipping through the channels because back then the way that cable was, it was channel 25 was USA, 26 was TNT, and I was like, I don't have anything going on, so I turned on USA, thinking, okay, I'll see wrestlers that I remember. Didn't know any of them on WWF at the time, but flip the channel, one more channel, and all of a sudden I see Roddy Piper getting beat up by an evil Hulk Hogan, and I was immediately hooked. And then a couple weeks later, it was super cheesy again because Roddy Piper was training at Alcatraz and all this other shit. But it immediately made me go, and I've watched it every week since that Hogan Piper storyline.
Wow.
You know, do I miss a week here and there? Absolutely. I think everybody does. But that literally had to be 1997
somewhere. Yeah.
So I mean, almost 30 straight years of watching it since then. And I know that our friendship was because of started because of those Monday Night Wars.
Yeah, and so I've watched it and I never stopped. So we always, I always say, 5-year-old me, I've been watching since I was 5, 6 years old. I just turned 52, so I've been watching it a long, long time.
Well, and I got to say that the stoppage in mine was probably 2 or 3 years. It probably wasn't a lot of time, but it was enough where I had WWF had lost all those big name guys. I remember getting Rockers trading cards and stuff like that, but yeah. But yeah, so while we have to talk about everything that he did, and I mean like Rock versus Hogan at WrestleMania 18, they every company still tries to emulate the beginning of that match whenever they think they've got something special. They always do they're going to look at the crowd one way, then their eyes are going to cross and they're going to look the other way, and then they're finally going to do the lockup. And every wrestling company tries to do this at some point, and nothing equals the electricity that WrestleMania had at that moment.
That, and on my TikTok feed today came when he was in the ring. I hate the stupid angle.
Mr. America?
Mr. America, he's to the lie detector. I'm like, it was so stupid, but it was funny.
And people like the Hurricane got put on the map really because of guys like The Rock and Hulk Hogan actually taking his Hurricane, where he was Shane Helms, the reporter, but then he was also the Hurricane, So, and
Zach Gowen, he came back and him and Edge won the tag team titles. That was the infamous Shawn Michaels match where he oversold everything. It goes on.
The visual frustration on Hogan's face during that match, and Michaels was just like, I'll be here tomorrow night. You won't. What are you gonna do? Because Michaels for like 3 weeks decided to play a heel because Hogan would not be the booed guy, is the way that was actually laid out. And Michaels, the very next night when he came back out, he's popped again. He's cheered. But later on in Hulk Hogan's life, we can't talk about the good without talking about some of the stuff that went on behind the scenes. He obviously made a lot of racist remarks. While he tried to portray somebody who was always easy to work with and good for business, he did always seem to be in it for himself. And then, very, very much like Dwayne Johnson himself, Hogan has this revisionist history belief in so many things in his life, like the fact he was almost the bassist of Metallica.
I think Lars would have had something to say about that.
I do too. Now, granted, I did hear that Hogan used to be a pretty good bassist, but
yeah, he started out. That's what he started out. He was a bass player in a band, like in high school and all this other stuff. So,
but we're anyways, the racial stuff, all of the stuff with Bubba the Love Sponge, the fact that WWE for a while actually kicked him out and took him off of everything. You know, that there's only one other person that's like that right now, and that's Vince McMahon himself. You know, like Brock Lesnar's still been mentioned on TV. You know, like, do they want him to be? Probably not. But has he? Yeah. So I mean, it's pretty polarizing when you see and hear about how the man was behind the scenes to so many people, and you know that he before The Rock, before Cena, before any of these guys, was the guy that Make-A-Wish would go to for these, you know, to make sure that he put a smile on kids' faces and everything. And being the company man, he did all that stuff. But it just seems like the more you hear about him, the more fake that was.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, like, he's a 2-time WWE Hall of Famer. A little surprised he's not a 3-time Hall of Famer because you know, I'm sure they could figure out a way. But yeah, he, you know, with the NWO, he's in the Hall of Fame. As a singles wrestler, he's in the Hall of Fame. And his accolades totally deserved. You know, so Tino, do we just want to do 10 seconds for both of them, or do we want to do 20 seconds total? That's a long time with dead air.
Yeah, I think we'll just do 10 for the both of them because, 20 seconds does seem like forever. So I was in my own little world. I forgot to set the timer. All right. And not 20 minutes. God, not 20 minutes. Come on. What are you doing? Stop it. All right, you ready?
Yep, I am ready.
All right, here we go. I still did 20 seconds. I said I'm gonna do 10, I did 20.
I every time you said not 20 minutes, I was like, this is taking really, really long.
Yep, 20 seconds. That's exactly what I did. Damn it. But all right.
So Tino, we know what was up with me, although we'll go more into detail on that in just a minute. But I want to know, over the past week, what has been up with you?
Let's see what's up, man. Went to the eye doctor last week because it's time because these are all scratched up. I'm like, well, I think it's time for new glasses. And my last pair of contacts I had a rip in them, so I was like, I get new contacts. So went and did that. Ordered new glasses, ordered contacts. Chilled this weekend. Like I said, we went and saw the movie, and then this coming week, Friday, I leave to go back to Hickory again for the weekend. So not too bad, not too shabby. I'll tell you about what movie I watched when we do the movie thing. So
Absolutely.
that's pretty much it.
So and yeah, I guess what I will do is just change that to this. This past weekend, from Wednesday all the way through Sunday, I was at San Diego Comic-Con. It was my either 5th or 6th time actually at the event. Got there Wednesday at San Diego time around 11 a.m. Was able to check right into the hotel. And I'm going to start with this. Got to the hotel, I'm checking in. She goes, hey, would you, and I was staying at the Hard Rock Hotel because Matthew's walking around without his shirt on, and we don't want any nudity things on here. So I get to the hotel, and the woman is going, hey, do you want to upgrade to our exclusive list, whatever? And I'm like, how much is it? And she goes, $35. And I'm like, oh, for $35, that's fine, right? No, it turns out it was $35 a day.
You thought it was gonna be total?
So I was like, you can just go ahead and cancel that. Because at $35 a day, there was no way I was going to get my money's worth out of it. And
what did it include?
So it included like 10% off at their Hard Rock shop. It included 10% off at like a bunch of the local restaurants, including their restaurants. Gave you one drink ticket. One. And I was like, well, for 4 days, I should get 4 drink tickets. If I'm paying for that for each day,
yeah, it makes sense.
I should get one per day. And she was like, no, it's just one drink ticket. I was like, yeah, then I don't want any of that. Oh, and it was to get Wi-Fi in the hotel room. And so here's what's funny about that. I had 5G access, like,
I was just using my hotspot on my phone.
and that's what I did. And it was ridiculous to me because I was like, and then here are some of the perks that went away, right? Get there at 11 o'clock on Wednesday. You're like, okay, checking into the hotel. They're like, and you've got access to the pool and you've got this. Oh, wait, but the pool closes at 4 o'clock today and it's closed until Sunday. It's because that's where all the parties are happening.
Okay.
So you get access up till 4 o'clock and that's it. So I was like, okay, so that's no fun. Then they're like, oh, and then you have to use these elevators, not these elevators. And I'm like, so I can only use half the elevators in the place too. Like, I paid to be there. Like the people that your celebrity status people, they didn't pay shit to be there.
And they got full access to everything.
And they got full access to everything. So I was a little like still preferred staying there than anywhere else. Don't get me wrong. And it was a suite. So I mean, like the room itself was awesome.
Oh, I saw you. You put it on something. I think
it was on TikTok. I put it on.
Yeah.
And like and I also provided a life hack for everybody when they give you those facial towels. What I do is I fold it back up, put it in water, and then put it in the fridge. And then when I get back to the room, I take it out and just put it on top of my head or put it over my eyes. And it refreshes you so much. So this weekend when you're in Hickory at a hotel, do that.
So do what? So the hand towel
in
water.
Towel. So you know how they're always wrapped up a certain way?
Yeah.
So you just take that, put it, put it under water. So the whole thing is wet, but not drippy wet.
Okay.
And then put it in the fridge that they give you.
Okay. For how long?
Like on one of the shelves. And then you can just pull it out and just rest it over your face.
Let's try that.
You basically get a cold compress that's just awesome.
I'm going to try that.
And all weekend, I just, I take it off, I put it back in the fridge. I take it, I put it back under the sink, put it back in the fridge, and I was telling people about it and they're like, dude, that's fucking genius. And I'm like, of course it is. Like, it is really smart. So anyway, did preview night Wednesday night. That was pretty fun. I went out with Michael Adams and Angela, the co-creator of Zor, that night. We just had some drinks and that was pretty cool. After they went back to their actually it was no, you know what? I think Michael just went back to his room. I went to a place called the Whiskey House that night, and they had, I mean, it was like a portfolio of whiskeys and bourbons that you could try. And I had two, and then I was like, okay, I got to go back to the room. Like, I was beat at that point because, I left my house at 7 o'clock Raleigh time, and I'm going to bed at like 1 o'clock San Diego time, so 4 o'clock in the morning.
I'm going to ask you, did Drew make it?
What's that? Yeah, he did. Yeah, my nephew did end up getting, and yeah, he actually picked me up about 3 minutes after I actually texted him saying, hey, I'm ready to go. Thursday, we got an invite to the Comic Book Legal Defense Fund party. So we were at the booth most of the day. Then after we left the booth, it was like, all right, let's, I went back to my room, put the cold compress on my face for a bit, clean myself up because get this, Tino, the weather in San Diego was not above 78 degrees at all this weekend.
Wow. And
what I will say though, is there's sunlight everywhere. So it's still hot, but it was bearable. Because I got off the plane today, I walked outside, and I was like, I'm sticky again,
Yeah.
Not to mention the most expensive Uber I had was the one that I took from the airport today home.
How much was that one?
It was like $30. But I mean, it wasn't terrible. But I was like, I'm not waiting. I'm not calling anybody to get me or anything. I'm just gonna, I'll pay the extra $5 what I expected. But anyways. So we go to the Comic Book Legal Defense Fund party, and I'm talking to different publishers, different things. It's pretty cool. And it's interesting because you suddenly start realizing that you are making a name for yourself. You know, like me being in the industry as long as I have been now. Like when I was walking up to people, they're like, "Oh, hey, Rob, what's going on?" You know, like they already knew who I was.
Okay.
Oh, and we had the Keen Spot 25th anniversary panel that night too. So I hosted. So I hosted the panel. It was an hour-long panel. It's really weird because like when it started, we had a 500-person room. Okay.
Oh shit.
When it started, there was, I don't know, 40, 50 people in there. By the time the panel ended, it was full.
Wow.
And I actually dropped what I think is one of the funniest things I've ever said at one of these, where I told everybody I didn't have Sarah McLachlan music, but I'd really like it if you'd adopt some comics and take them home with you. But we talked about the upcoming books, including we officially announced Zor Saves Christmas.
Okay.
We announced some other books too, like Jay Hammond, the artist of Died Hard, actually announced Pecos Bill, and I don't know the exact title now, but it's Pecos Bill, and he basically goes to the land of Oz.
Okay.
Because I don't know if you ever heard the official, well, the tall tale story of what happened to Pecos Bill, but apparently he took a lasso and he threw it into a tornado.
Yes. Okay.
To wrangle the tornado. So of course, if you do something with a tornado, where do you typically end up?
Oz.
So yeah, so he's got that book coming out. We announced it officially at the show. Immediately after announcing it, he changed the name. So don't we'll be officially showing what it's actually called in just a couple months. But that book, as well as Zor Saves Christmas, out by December, which is pretty awesome. And then we talked about the Execution Posse line that we run, which is co-owned, co-run by Sony. So some pretty cool stuff there. Friday, I pretty much chilled out. I got home from the convention because Thursday we stayed out really late at that party. Friday, did the convention parts that I was supposed to. Ate a donut bar donut. Wait, maybe that was Saturday. No, I think that was Friday. I ate the one with the Pop-Tart. I posted a 1.5-minute long video. It took me about 20 minutes, but I did get through the entire donut.
Oh,
and
yeah.
It was diabetes.
I don't. What? So what? I don't think I saw that video. What is it?
So there's this place called the San Diego Donut.
I remember you telling me about it, and you said they had all these cool different donuts.
Yeah.
And I remember you saying something about the Pop-Tart donut, but I can't remember what it looked like or what you.
Michael and his wife surprised the booth because they were only about like a quarter mile away from it. I was like a mile and a half away from it. So they went over there. They bought 24 donuts. I don't even know what they spent on them. Okay, but they get to the booth with all these donuts and they're like, hey, have some donuts. You don't, when you go to the donut bar, you don't have some donuts. You have a donut.
A donut.
And even then, that's pushing it. Like the Pop-Tart donut could probably be cut into 3 and eaten by 3 separate people.
So describe this thing for those.
So all right. So first of all, about that tall.
Okay. Shit.
About that big. So about the size of my head.
Shit.
It had an icing on it with sprinkles and crushed Pop-Tart. And on the inside of it, it had like a strawberry jelly and an entire strawberry Pop-Tart in it. So someone
you got the business.
So someone told me that I was having donut inception.
Good God. I'd have gone into a coma. I'm really eat. Damn.
But yeah, I posted that video, and like I said, I didn't want to, like Michael was taking the video. I didn't want to make him sit there and have to watch me eat the whole donut. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna hop off here. But I took a couple bites, showed everybody what was on the inside of the donut, and then finished the donut throughout the next. What's really funny is everybody that was walking by me at the booth was stopping to watch me eat this donut. Yeah, pretty crazy stuff. Friday night, got back to the hotel room, and I was like, "What's everybody doing?" And Michael was like, "I'm going to bed." And I'm like, "That sounds like a plan." So my buddy Daryl showed up. He was staying with me. He's like, "I'm going to go see Fantastic Four tonight," and he had tickets at like 11 o'clock at night.
Damn that.
Yeah, I know. I got back to the room. I don't know. It's like 6 o'clock, sitting there bullshitting with Daryl for 2 hours or whatever. And then he left to, go hang out with somebody and go do the movie. And I was like, I'm just going to watch Paramount Plus. So I watched the next episode of Dexter, and I watched the next episode of Star Trek Strange New Worlds. And then I fell asleep. Well, it was already too late. Because
that's you behind us. Yeah.
9 o'clock here. So and with it only being 2 hours, by the time I would have actually started watching it, it was over.
Yeah.
So yeah. So and I thought about that because I was like, oh, I could watch. I can't watch SmackDown. Saturday, dude, I got a VIP invite to a party. Okay. Met up with a buddy of mine named James Parker who works for a licensing company. So he's the guy that like signs deals when let's say my company wants to make toys and Hot Topic wants to get those toys in their stores. He's like the middleman and all that. So I used to work with him when I worked at GameStop. So he came by and he's like, dude, you're killing it. I love watching you on all this stuff. Everything's great, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, man, you're killing it. I see, like he does TikToks where he just like goes question of the day, and then he asks you so that way you have to comment on it, right? And then he tells his, but he sits there and asks everybody else theirs, and he's like, well, I got an invite to a party for a video game called Little Nightmares, put on by Bandai Namco, who had a booth at the thing, and he goes, and it's VIP, and I don't have a +1 yet. You want to go? And I'm like, party? Sure. Especially VIP access party? Absolutely, right? So he goes, well, I've got, and it looked like it was like certain time slots that you would get for this thing because it was like they wanted to show you the video game, but they also wanted to, utilize the nightclub that they were in for it.
Mm-hmm.
So he was like, so what time do you want to go? And I was like, well, if we go at 6 to 8 and it's garbage, then that still means that we can leave there and go somewhere else. Well, we got there, dude. They gave me 6 drink tickets to start. And then I got introduced.
Going nowhere.
And then I got introduced to the woman that was running the whole thing. And she's like, if you need more tickets or whatever, or if I'm walking up to the bar and you want something, just let me know. I'm like, sweet, right? Met these 2 streamers. They're sitting there talking to me about different stuff. And my buddy James is like, well, I don't drink, so here, take my drink tickets.
12 drink tickets.
I still had 2 of them in my pocket when I looked through my pants, whenever. But so here's what's really funny though. So I'm at this party, and I don't like, because I thought they were going to kick us out after 2 hours. The first thing I did was I went and I got a double shot, and then I got another double shot. So I had 2, so 4 of the tickets gone, perfect, right? And I'm like, okay, that'll set me up just in case they kick us out at 8. Well, apparently it wasn't they kick you out at 8. What they do is they just let more people in at 8. And they don't let them in the VIP area after that. So like, and they had a little, stanchion thing set up where only the people with the certain wristband could get into that section. So I'm up there and I'm like, I feel like I'm in a strip club without titties. But it was awesome.
That's cool.
Did some networking, actually talked to Bandai Namco about licensing their characters to put them into comic books. Thought that was pretty cool. So who knows? Maybe there'll be something in the future. And then here's where it got really crazy. Remember how I said they started letting more people in around 8?
Yeah.
Well, between 8 and 9, all of a sudden I hear, hey, there's Rob. And it's Michael and Angela, and they walked into the party.
The VIP?
Well, they didn't, but I was like, here. And I just lifted the stanchion and let them in. And then the
And
girl
then
was like, and then the girl was that was running the thing was like, if they need wristbands just because someone actually is here saying no, then come to me and I'll get you wristbands. So yeah, so they got there. Tino, I'm gonna say this. I know we went to another bar after because it got a little too crazy and like suddenly we couldn't hear each other talking. Like they started bringing us food. Like I had fried calamari, I had beef Wellington, I had
shit.
they started bringing burgers and fries, like, and I was just like, well, I need to eat something. So every time food came up, and then and gorgeous young lady actually being the server of the food. So of course they've got a video crew sitting there like walking up with her as she's like handing out the food. And she's like, I know you want another beef Wellington. And I was like, I really don't. I was like, it's excellent, but no, I don't want any more. Rob, how was Coronado? Tino, how was your birthday? Well, I guess we could talk about all that in a bit. Yeah, because Tino's birthday was just recently. So we decided, okay, we're going to get out of here because Michael was taking a video of this young lady that was dancing right here to me, and it was her butt.
Oh.
And I was like, Michael, take a video of this. And then I was just like, let's go somewhere quieter. And it's San Diego, so there's not a lot of quiet, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we ended up going to this Irish bar called Fields because our buddy Niall was celebrating the fact that he signed a director to direct his movie, The Crying Boy. So we all met over there, and before I know it, I'm getting Guinnesses handed to me. Just pint after pint. I don't know how I got back to my room, so I asked Michael the next day, and he's like, "Oh, we put you on a pedal bike, and they took you back to your room, or they took you back to your hotel. We don't know how you got to your room." And I was like, "Me neither." And Michael's like, "I probably should have went with you because you were wasted." And I was like, I know where I was when we got to like the
Irish bar.
The Irish bar. But I mean, at one point I had 2 Guinnesses, and I'm like, why do I have 2? Like, and I was probably even going, why do I have 2? Great time though. Got up at 8:00 the next morning. Was in my hotel room. Here's what made it even funnier. I distinctly remember when I walked into the hotel room. This had to be between 3-4 in the morning. Daryl's stuff was still in the room. When I woke up at 8:15, all of Daryl's stuff was gone. And I was like, where the fuck did he go? Now he was leaving so that he could stay in San Diego for another night, and we didn't have that hotel, so he had to go check into his other hotel. So he went to do that. When I got to the elevators and I clicked the button, elevator doors open up, there's Daryl. So then he went back down with me. I had a panel to be on. It was first year publishing. Like the pitfalls and the positives, like what you would want to continue doing, what you want to stop doing. And that one I posted some pictures of. It was a wonderful panel, and so informative. Like the people that were on that with me, just like mounds and mounds of knowledge. It was incredible. Left the convention at around 3:00 because I just couldn't anymore. Got a nice steak because I hadn't eaten a steak all except for the beef Wellingtons. Hadn't eaten, and those were little, like little pieces of them. Stopped for a steak. Went to the airport about 5:00, thinking that my plane took off at 8. Nope. Delta decided, hey, your plane's leaving at 10:15. So I found a nice little pub, sat there, did some drawing, drank a couple beers, got on the plane, and still made it home by the exact same time I was supposed to. So I guess whatever flight they moved me to, the second flight they also moved, but it didn't have as far to go or something. So I think originally I was supposed to go to Dallas, and then all of a sudden I was going to Detroit, which is so funny to me that you go to Detroit to come back down to North Carolina.
Well, that's like when we flew to New York and we were going into, I think it was LaGuardia or JFK. Okay, and we did Might have
They
been
take you to
Atlanta.
Chicago or something, and then
No, that we went from RDU to Atlanta, then back up. I think because Atlanta's their hub. So we went from RDU to Atlanta to New York. I'm like, really?
Barrett, I absolutely did have a blast in San Diego. Having Michael and Angela there with me was awesome because we got to talk about Zor. When we did our live stream on Wednesday from the booth, I made sure that we talked about his cartoon and everything else. Unfortunately, I didn't get to talk about that on our panel, which kind of upset him and upset me because there were some other factors as to what was supposed to be talked about at it. So, but all in all, an absolutely wonderful time. The people that I got to see my very first San Diego. There was a young lady by the name of Ren that I met at a little place called the Old Spaghetti Factory. She just happened to be sitting there all by herself. I was sitting there by myself. She was dressed as Harley Quinn, started talking to her about Comic-Con. And all of a sudden, like now, every time I go back, like she stopped and saw me at the booth this year. It was the first time I think I saw her without cosplay on, though. So I was like, so when she came up and she's like, "Hey," and I'm like, "Hey," because it's like, wait a second, no, I don't know you like this,
Right.
But then all the people that did come by, like I set up a box of junior high horrors books that I was just like, these are 6-7 years old at this point, make them $2 a piece, and people were filtering through and just picking up like 15 books, because it's $30. And hopefully that means that they become fans of both that series and maybe even fans of other writing I did, the two panels, like I said, being moderator on the one for Keen Spot was absolutely a wonderful time again. I think I do pretty well with that, but actually sitting in on a panel where it had four other publishers on it talking about the publishing side of everything. And I brought a couple copies of my Are You Sure You Want to Make Comics book. And it was funny because when I held it up, one of the other guys was like, I bet the first thing that you talk about in that is how they're not going to make money that first year. And I'm like, I talk about that a lot in that book. But I just had 4 copies and I was like, hey, if you guys want these, I brought them so that way you guys could get them. I bought a hoodie while I was at that, like over there because the San Diego Comic-Con shop was there. I bought some magnets as well. So I think, Tino, you might be getting a San Diego Comic-Con magnet. And yeah, so I flew back. I have literally been up straight about 35 hours right now. So it couldn't sleep on either plane. I never do, I keep joking. I'm actually going to pull my CPAP out, put it on the little tray table, and put it on while I'm sleeping while I'm on the plane. Oh, and of course, had a wonderful trip. And the very first flight I get on to leave, there is a kid that for an hour and a half does not stop crying, and his dad is now Tino. I know I'm a child of the '80s, where the first thing my dad would have said if I started crying on a plane like that and people were turning around looking at me, the first thing that my dad would have said was, "Keep it up and I'll give you a reason to cry."
Mm-hmm.
And this kid was crying because they left the overhead light that tells you which way the bathroom is on. And he
Close your eyes, you won't see it.
And he kept crying, and then he kept crying, and the dad was just sitting there going, "What is it, buddy? What is it? Why are you?" And I was like, "Dude, I'm going to get up and punch you in the face because I can't punch your kid." Like, it was ridiculous, and like nobody said anything. Like not even the staff said anything. It's like, now granted, I typically have headphones with me, and I normally turn the whatever all the way up. But I left those in my thing that I put in the check area. So, but that was like the only thing if I could take back from this entire trip would be having to sit 2 rows away from that kid. All right, I am done talking about San Diego Comic-Con. I'm sorry that took so long. I did think it was important to go through like what happened every day because I know that you were actually asking me like, what is it actually like going through the whole thing?
Yeah.
So yeah, but other than that, I know this says TV. If you want, I've got one that says this right here.
Well, we don't want to talk about that because it's still new, and you slip up and tell spoilers. The
I,
movie
I
I
won't.
want,
I won't. I won't tell
the movie
spoilers.
the movie I want to talk about that Nicole and I watched, Happy
Happy Gilmore
Gilmore
2.
2.
Yeah, I knew you were going to mention it.
That movie,
Um,
God, it was so funny.
was it?
It was hilarious.
Every review I've even looked at, just like the TLDR on, has said that they traded all of the fun and love of the first movie for all the corporate sponsorship and all the celebrity cameos.
No, but the celebrity cameos made sense because if you watch the movie, a lot of it was a callback to the first movie, right? So some of they still have all the golf guys, right? And then they had Eminem. Well, he was the son because a lot of people who obviously died.
MJF, not
No,
Eminem.
not MJ. No, Eminem was in the movie. Marshall Mathers was in the movie.
But I thought MJF actually played Happy Gilmore's son.
He did. No, what
Okay.
I'm saying is, so you remember the first Happy Gilmore when he was playing golf and the guy was heckling him and calling him asshole? Well,
Yeah.
that dude died in real life. So they brought Eminem back as his son to heckle him.
Jackass! That guy?
Yeah, yeah. So they had yes, that guy, and they had so they had to bring Chubbs back. We know Carl Weathers died, so they had Lavelle Crawford, the comedian, play his son. He still had the wooden hand. And so, but it was funny. It was long, and they did a lot. They did do flashbacks. MGF was phenomenal. He was good in this movie. I mean,
And if there's one thing, and I heard Becky Lynch was good for
yes,
her short time that she's in the film
yeah,
as well. I heard MJF isn't in the film very much, but he really does steal some of the
yes,
scenes.
yes,
Which you kind of expect from him, like in an acting role. I mean, the guy literally has a singing background and everything else, and he obviously doesn't mind being in front of a camera, right?
So I
So
would highly, but I don't because I hate that. I hate when I don't listen to like when critics and everybody says so I want to watch it for myself. I enjoyed it. I thoroughly enjoyed it. But I'm an Adam Sandler. I like all those movies. Happy Gilmore, Billy Madison, Waterboy. I love all those movies anyway.
it's funny because I am not a big Adam Sandler fan. Like I like the
Dude,
Wedding Singer, you know, because
how do
I
you
like
like Happy? How could you not like Billy Madison? That movie's
you know
hysterical.
what? It was one that I just didn't care for. But I wonder if now, if I were to go back and watch them, because some of my tastes have changed,
Yeah.
and I know that now that Adam Sandler's doing like those comedy things for people of his age,
Yes.
like grown-ups and grown-ups too, I wonder if I would find that stuff funnier now because like now it fits better. You know what I mean? Nudie Magazine Day.
Yo, God. Yes.
So I mentioned that
Look at a
I had
swan.
I did mention that I watched the latest episodes of Dexter Resurrection as well as Strange New Worlds episode 3. Strange New Worlds, best Star Trek that I can remember, except maybe Picard season 3. Like the show has just been phenomenal since it started. It took them 2 years to get this season out, but they've already filmed season 4, so hopefully it's only that typical year between now and the next one. The other show that I watched, I don't know if I've even talked about, was the Apple TV show Stick with Owen Wilson.
I think you might have mentioned it.
Yeah, where he's a former golfer that like is now just like a hustler. Like he
Hmm.
sits there and like he does all these side hustles and whatever. But he finds a kid that's actually really good at golf, and the kid doesn't want to play golf, and he talks him into it, talks his mom into letting him play and everything else. And of course they have the ups and downs of like every episode there has to be that one thing that like kind of takes him away from why he's so good at golf in the first place. So,
Hmm.
but Owen Wilson plays that shisty, lovable character that he always is pretty well.
Hmm. Yeah.
And it's got Timothy Oliphant in it as like the golfer that really became something. So he's got all the money and everything. And Timothy Olyphant plays that character really well too. So with that, I want to talk about this, but I won't give anything away. I want to point out that they'd already talked about how this movie takes place on a different Marvel universe than where all of our other movies have come from.
Mm-hmm.
So it's Earth 828. Now, did you see the reasoning behind this being Earth 828?
No.
Okay. So at the very end of the movie, and it's just a quote that they put up, but it's a quote from Jack Kirby, who is the co-creator of Fantastic Four. So all the way up through now, every movie has always been like Stanley, right?
Mm-hmm.
And starting when they did Eternals, and since then, there's been a focus on even like the characters and the choices of who they actually pick out to make movies about. They're adding in Jack Kirby to this. Jack Kirby would have been 107 or 108 years old at this point. And he's known as the king of comics because he was the artist on a lot of that stuff that Stan Lee was writing.
Okay.
Doesn't really get the creator credit on a bunch of it because everyone knows Stan Lee's name, and for 20 years, Marvel Comics all said Stan Lee presents. So anyway, the importance of the 828 world is that Jack Kirby's birthday is August 28th.
Got it.
So they and when they showed the quote, and the quote even said, "There's always a little piece of you in all of your creations,"
Mm-hmm.
and he's 100% right with that line. They then put his name under it, and then you saw the 828 mold into 828, 1917.
Oh.
So yeah, that was his date of birth, and then the date that he died was shown as well. But I thought that was a really cool way to show a tribute to him. I was worried that the Pedro Pascal casting was gonna feel like they're just overusing him in everything now, and I felt he did really good. Like
I did too, and I was also surprised at another person who I wasn't expecting to see, and she came out of nowhere. You know what I'm talking about too. I'm like, the fuck did she come from?
well, you're saying she. I was thinking about one of the other male characters.
I was thinking
Stingray.
about, huh?
Stingray from Cobra Kai. The moment.
Yeah, Matthew caught that. I caught a girl from Poker Face.
Yes, Natasha Lyonne. And she looked good. She normally looks strung the fuck out. But in this movie, they did something to make her look really pretty.
Her hair wasn't off.
But I mean, she didn't. I mean, she looked cleaned up. You
Yeah.
know, like, and she like, I don't know. I didn't recognize the name of the character she was playing, because normally when the Thing is talking about anyone that he's interested in, it's normally Alicia Masters in Fantastic Four. She doesn't play her. I can't really remember what her name was. I really liked how good Eben Moss Rabach, or whatever his name is, did as the Thing. Like, visually, he's incredibly comic book accurate. I did find it funny that he constantly is wearing clothes.
Yeah, and yeah.
Like,
I almost said something. I didn't want to spoil it.
it's in the commercials.
Oh,
It's in the commercials now. Yes, the thing grows a beard. Now, one thing that I thought was a little interesting was that there wasn't a lot of nitpicking between him and the Human Torch.
but there was. I mean,
there were jabs, like when all of a sudden he started throwing the food, and then the Thing threw the food back at him. But there was always that, like, a little less lighthearted, like, because he would hurt the Thing's feelings, and here it never felt like anybody felt hurt.
Yeah.
Well, except for Sue, and I won't talk about why, but she She definitely had a moment in there where she was very upset. Um, every character got the playtime on screen that they needed. There apparently was a cameo from the 4 people that played in the Roger Corman never released version of the film, and I don't know where. So I kind of want to go back and find out, because I was wondering whether or not they just voiced the little cartoon thing that they kept showing throughout the,
Yeah.
But overall, I thought it was a tremendous movie from Marvel. I thought that it didn't necessarily use the same tropes and everything that Marvel movies are known for. I felt like it felt like, because it's in a pocket universe of its own, it really did well with that. I was impressed. I had heard so many good reviews already that I almost didn't want to get my hopes up, because I was like, oh, that's just a Fantastic Four fan saying that or something. And while it felt like a timepiece, like you would think it took place in the 60s, you can't tell.
No.
And because it's a different universe, technologies that they use for one thing could be completely different in a different one.
Well, all of this, like the sets, the clothing, the cars, it
Felt
looked
like
like
60s, 70s, yeah.
yeah.
But they had flying cars. And their Fantastic car wasn't the only one. The police cars were all flying cars.
I didn't even notice that one. Yeah.
Yeah. When all the police cars flew by.
Yeah.
And I think it's because the Future Foundation made those so that the police could actually get to things faster or whatever. But like that's one of those little like trinkets that they didn't explain, but it just naturally worked.
I want that. I want the Fantastic car. I want that car.
I mean, who doesn't? It looked like Speed Racers Mach 5, except the Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
I really felt that the woman who played Rose on Ozark, who played the Silver Surfer, thought she was really good. Especially since it's hard to show emotion in that kind of setting. Anything else you want to add about it?
Nah, it's just, I recommend it. It's hard not to talk about it because I'm still so excited about it. So, but
people who think that it's gonna, the only thing I'll say that could be looked at as spoilerish is that people that think that this movie connects to the Thunderbolts, it does not.
No,
not at all. So that post-credit scene from Thunderbolts, I think we have to wait another 9 to 12 months before we actually see what's up with that. So, all right, Tino. Just so everyone knows, upcoming this week, WWE Unreal on Netflix starts. That's all I want to say about that.
When does that start? Tomorrow?
I think it's tomorrow.
Okay.
So, typical time that actually launches is going to be right at like 3 a.m.
And do we know? Well, we don't know if they're going to do all of them or if they're going to split them and make you watch one a week.
Well, I think it's only 5 or 6 episodes, but I think with it being Netflix, my assumption is they're dumping it all.
Right, I'll watch it.
And for those that are Stranger Things fans, they apparently have 3 different releases for the final season, including the very last episode, I guess, which is going to be like full-length movie sized, is New Year's Eve.
Nice. Yeah, they've already did something like that. They've already done something like that, haven't they? Like their last episode was like a movie.
They did 2 halves of, well, the entire season 4 was like feature-length films.
Yeah.
Like every episode was like 2 hours. I think one of them was like 2.5 hours. It was insanely long. But I was glad because it had been so long between season 3 and season 4. And it actually got back to being a really good, high-quality made show. Ready to talk about some wrestling?
Yeah, let's get it.
All right. Now, folks, just so you know, we're probably not going through what happened on the shows unless Tino needs to inform me about anything that happened so that it leads into SummerSlam. But speaking of SummerSlam, Tino, you were telling me about this. What's going on here?
So at first I saw something on TikTok where they'll pull stuff, and it was Drew McIntyre walking through a field in England. I'm like, I'm not looking at it. But then the more I hear about it, Drew is stuck in England. Apparently, him and his wife had gone to a wedding, and when they went to come back home, realized that Drew has left his American passport,
Now, how
so
could he
he
not go
cannot get
get
back
it?
in the country. I don't know, but they're not letting him in. I don't, and you know everything going on now. They're not letting people. They've got people going on cruises that having trouble getting back into the country, and they're United States citizens. So I don't know.
You know, this is the second time he's had one of these major travel issues. The first one was when he was supposed to win the title at WrestleMania and COVID hit.
He just needs to stay his ass in America around PLE time.
around
Oh,
around
no,
top two PLE time. Yeah,
don't leave the country, Drew.
yeah.
So that could throw a make, and so that could throw a monkey wrench in it because and this is one match that they've actually built, and they've actually taken the time to build because you got Jelly Roll obviously involved in it. And I thought that maybe originally before I think I told you you like no, it's going to be a tag match. I thought it was just going to be Drew and not Drew. I thought it was going to be Jelly Roll and Logan just going at it. You're like no, they're going to make it a tag match, which I guess makes sense. But where do we go from here? Where do we
I
go?
mean,
So do we just do Randy Orton against Logan Paul with Jelly Roll in his corner, or do you know what I mean?
I I think the WWE will find a way to get that man on a plane. But it does sound like it's real. It doesn't sound like it's a work or anything.
I thought it was a work at first, but the more I see it, I mean, a lot of people are reporting on it. I'm like,
Yeah, it really does seem real, and
Mhm.
so I who knows? You know, it's like you said. He just needs to find. He just needs to make sure that he's in the country he's supposed to be in a week before that match. So, anyways, anything happen on AEW programming this week?
Oh, the only thing big I want to talk about is they've made a match for Wednesday with Hangman and Moxley cage match. Nobody allowed at ringside.
Well, you know what that normally means. They've hired somebody else that's going to show up and interfere.
I don't know. I don't think they're going to take that belt off him too anytime soon.
Well, it's funny that you say that because we thought that Dynamite and everything, like with that pay-per-view, it was going to be a reset because they gave us what we wanted. Well, now if he wants to reverse it on Dynamite, he can. I hope he doesn't. I hope what it does is it actually it takes Moxley off TV for a little while. Like I'm not gonna say the man's stale, but I've grown kind of bored.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, fuck. We were talking about AEW wrestling and being off TV for a while. Reminded me of Samoa Joe. Reminded me of Twisted Metal. I think comes back this week too. I'm sorry.
No, so Samoa Joe was walking around San Diego Comic-Con, I think, wearing the Sweet Tooth cosplay.
You saw him?
Well, I never saw Samoa Joe, but I'm
But you saw
pretty
Sweet Tooth.
sure he was walking around in the costume of the character because yes, I did see that. Danhausen was dressed as Superman, so he was Superhausen. CM Punk and Larry were walking around.
You saw Punk? Okay, cool.
Apparently James Gunn came by our booth.
You didn't see him?
I wasn't at the booth at the time.
Oh, okay.
The only two celebrities I saw other than a couple of the wrestlers walking around, I saw Brian Posehn, the comedian, who's now writing for Marvel. He wrote Deadpool a couple times. And I saw George Takei. So
Okay.
Sulu from the original Star Wars. He was signing at the booth right next to ours, so I walked up, took a picture of him. But yeah, those like our area was busy, but it felt a little bit less busy than usual, which was kind of surprising. So it is what it is.
That's all I have that I can remember. The main thing there. So there'll be a title match this week.
And I mean, with it being on a Wednesday night, nothing special there. It doesn't seem like they're trying to do it to go against some WWE programming, unless they are trying to use Dynamite like this week as super important because it's SummerSlam week.
Yeah.
Anything happen on SmackDown? I thought Jelly Roll had something specific happen on there. I don't even see my little.
Yes, Jelly Roll he did go in there. And he was talking shit. Logan Paul. Well, he was just saying, talking to the audience. Logan Paul came out. I think Drew was it. Drew wasn't SmackDown because he came out too. And Jelly Roll, for some reason, he's like, no, well, he goes, "Do you think I came here by myself?" And then he just started a cappella singing Randy's song. I hear voices in my head. They talk to me. They understand, right? And then they start playing Randy's music. I'm like, the fuck was that, right? So they come out. They start fighting. Logan tries to jump Jelly Roll. He ducks him, swings him to the ropes, hits him with a black hole slam, big boss man slam, and then uh, he rolls. Logan rolls out of the ring, and Jelly and Randy are standing tall in the ring.
And they obviously had to do all this without Drew McIntyre.
No, Drew was there Friday.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
So his whole thing happened after Friday?
It must have happened after Friday. Yeah. All right. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Do we know? Did they already? Did they already say what's on first night, second night?
Yes.
And they were saying, I was looking at something, and they were saying possibly the Roman Reigns Jey Uso match was going to be the main event of night one. The fuck? And they said it was up in the air. They said it wasn't for sure. So if you can tell me now, but I hope not.
So right now,
I sent that to you. I sent that to you. They said that'd be a good time if they did that because you know how Paul was trying to get Roman to be the boss. They were saying it'd be a good time for Sami Zayn to turn heel and come and because they were trying to get Zayn to join them too. So what do you think of Zayn becoming the boss of the Roman and not Roman, the Bronze and Paul Heyman until Seth comes back?
I mean, Sammy would be a good linchpin. He's obviously a great worker, good talker. So I've already said I wouldn't mind seeing Sammy actually in that. Also wouldn't mind Karrion Kross being in that group right now, to be honest with you. So right now, Bleacher Report has CM Punk versus Gunther as the main event for night one.
Like I said, that was a rumor that they said it could possibly, and they said it wasn't set in stone, but that's what the person was hearing. So.
And there may still be other matches added, obviously. But here is night one. So we will start predictions for night one and see if right now, if we do this, we should be out of here in about 20 minutes.
Let's hit it.
All right. Sami Zayn versus Karrion Kross. Now, I want to give you the caveat here. Karrion Kross's contract apparently is up in a month. If Karrion Kross resigns, I assume Karrion Kross wins this match. If Karrion Kross is just going to go out into the sunset, him and Scarlett, I think Sami Zayn goes over.
I think Karrion might go over cheating, which because Sammy has been being a little more edgy, a little more. So I think that pisses him off to turn him heel.
I mean, it's what Karrion Kross wanted Sammy to do all along, though.
I don't know. I'm predicting Sammy though.
So you're predicting Sammy?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with Sammy.
I will say this right now. I will say that this match is probably going to surprise people a lot more than anticipated, like in terms of the quality of the match.
Oh yeah, yeah.
All right, so I don't want to be wishy-washy. I'm going to go with Karrion Kross.
Okay,
but I do think that's predicated by whether or not he signs a new contract.
Gotcha.
WWE Women's Championship: Tiffany Stratton versus Jade Cargill.
Jade.
Yeah, I think it's time. And I You know what's weird about it is I feel like Tiffany's become stale.
Mm-hmm.
I love watching her. She's good in the ring. She's actually decent on the mic, but her mic her mic
It's
work recently to me has sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but
no, you did.
I did mean to cut you off.
I said no, you're good.
Oh, I thought
I
you
said
said
no,
yeah, you
you're.
did.
I said no, you're good.
Oh, okay. So I feel like her mic work recently has been to get to the Tiffy time line
Yeah.
rather than moving the storyline.
That, and I think they did what they, what they wanted to do. They put the bet on and knew the fans liked it,
They cookie
and
cutter.
I'm sure she'll get it back. I mean, she's young. She's in her 20s. I mean, it's not like she won't ever get the belt again. So
Well, there's already talk that she is not looking to stay in pro wrestling for too long.
really,
Well, because I mean, she's marketable to be a movie star right now.
okay.
I mean, she's got the look. If they ever needed someone that can be a female action star, I think Tiffany Stratton would be perfect for that. She's got a little too much high pitched voice for me for that type of thing, but I could
I'm
still see it
wondering.
happening.
I'm wondering if she puts that on though.
The voice, you mean?
Yeah, I'm sure it's her voice, but I wonder if she
Inflects?
embellishes it. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh, and also looks like she broke up with Kaiser.
So you're saying I got a chance? No.
No, I'm saying she broke up with Kaiser.
Well played, sir. Well played. Randy Orton and Jelly Roll versus Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul. This is obviously still on the card for right now.
Obviously, if that's not, I mean, it'll be Randy and Jelly.
Kind of has to be, right?
Yeah.
Unless they're planning on, keeping Jelly Roll around a little bit longer. I don't know if he's touring or anything else. Guy's a lifelong wrestling fan, so I could totally see them extending this out by giving the win to Logan and Drew. I'm going to tell you right now, Drew needs a fucking win.
He does, but I don't know if it'll be this.
Yeah, and we all know that the celebrity, and if you call Logan Paul a WWE superstar, Jelly Roll's the celebrity. They typically give the celebrity the victory. But again, this could be something that turns into a Drew McIntyre versus Jelly Roll match by itself.
Could be.
Women's Tag Team Championship, Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss versus Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez.
Somebody came up with a good, I don't know if I sent you that on TikTok. Because I think Liv, while she can't wrestle, I think she's well enough to come and interfere. So, and this whole Charlotte Alexa Bliss is going, because they only did that as this one time thing, but it worked. I got a feeling. I'm going to say Liv. I'm not Liv. I'm going to say Liv comes and causes a distraction, and we get new tag team champions.
I could see that. And I could see her making it look like it could be one of those slide the chair in and it accidentally goes to the wrong team.
But she slides. That's what she makes it happen.
It keeps that questioning going for a little while longer, right? I hate the Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss team. I hate it. And I feel like I've talked about it a little bit, but they truly are siphoning off the pop that Alexa Bliss gets to get Charlotte Flair popular.
Again, again, we talked about this. What was it last week? I don't think so. I think that's an organic thing because of that article that Charlotte put out, and I think that she's. I think Charlotte, you can tell in her demeanor that she's changed. She's not, you know what I mean? She's having fun. It's kind of like that Randy Orton thing, right? So, she doesn't. She's Charlotte Flair. She doesn't need to do anything different.
Yeah, but I really think that when everybody was booing her, Triple H backstage wants her to be a babyface. And the only way to get her over as a babyface is by siphoning off the babyface pop that someone else gets. And is it working? Yes. Is it working because Alexa Bliss is that likable? Yes. Is it working because Charlotte Flair is finally just saying, okay, I'll do my job? Probably. You know, like I always worry when it comes to Charlotte Flair that as soon as she's put in the spotlight again, it's going to be the same boring Charlotte Flair. Now, granted, she's boring because she's one of the best women's wrestlers of all time. But that doesn't mean, and she's now at the point in her career having as many championships as she's won that she doesn't need to win matches anymore. She just needs to put on good quality matches. As to who wins this match, I think they win the match. I like your theory there. And like I said, this would be the perfect time for Liv to send the chair into the ring and have Roxanne, or it'd be even better if it was Raquel that looks on as like Alexa Bliss picks up the chair and hits Raquel Rodriguez, because then that'll cause the tension between Raquel and Liv. Who Raquel, by the way, ever since the advice from Kevin Nash of you're the big woman, play the role of the big woman, and she said if he's saying that, then I really need to pay attention to it. And ever since that was the case, when they went to Saudi, and ever since then, Raquel's been putting on much better matches than she had for like the first couple years of her career.
I like what you said about them splitting, because I also think that while Liv, hey, she's on the fucking roll, and whatever, we'll probably talk about it later. But that match with Dom Dom and AJ, I think she helps him win, and I think that breaks them off from the Judgment Day and to be faces.
I don't want to see so much outside interference, because I feel like that's like we talked about it last week. I feel like outside interference in these matches happens all the fucking time now. And
she might not have to help interfere with that, but I think because people are wanting to cheer Dom.
Well, they're wanting to cheer Dom, but they're also wanting to cheer Liv.
Yeah, so I think if she does that and they break away from so she might not, even if she doesn't interfere in his match, if she does that with them, causes that friction, like you said, with her and Raquel, that'll break them away from Judgment Day. I think that'll go towards them being faces.
Yeah, and I don't know if they need to stay together if they're baby faces or what, but like it works.
Yeah.
Next match up, it says Roman Reigns, Jey Uso versus Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker. Unfortunately, I think that the simple solution here is that Uso and Reigns go over, but the fact is the other two need the win.
Can I ask you something? I want your opinion on this.
You can.
And they never.
You can always ask me something.
They never concluded. What's the word I'm looking for? They started something and they didn't finish it. Do you remember what was it when CM Punk came back and he was on the team with Jim, and I don't know, is that where they beat Roman? Anyway, remember Paul Heyman?
No, it was old bloodline versus new bloodline, and Punk was the fifth man.
Heyman winked at Jimmy, and we're like, "What the fuck is that? Is Jimmy about to be before Solo took over? Is Jimmy about to be the new what do you got? Tribal chief?"
I saw your TikTok video that you sent me, where the one person said that they really should do Jimmy versus Jay again. I don't know if
not even Jimmy versus Jay. They need somebody to fill Seth's spot. Well, they bring Big Jim in, because they never said why was Paul Heyman winking at Jimmy Uso, right? They could bring that full circle.
Well, and you and I have had the conversation where I always sit there and go, why do they keep shitting on Big Jim?
Yeah, and he can help them beat Roman and Jay.
There is a lot of thought backstage that once again, outside interference, but from a known source. But he's currently in that babyface side going against Solo and those guys.
Yeah.
So it's tough to just sit there and say, yeah, we're going to spin that on a dime.
That would be perfect, though. That would close off that
it would be good as long as it made sense. I think the reason why he winked at Jimmy was because initially they wanted, when Roman was going to be gone, they were going to put Jay on one side, get him up to main event level. They were going to try to do the same thing with Jimmy. I just think when it comes to Jimmy, it just doesn't work out. Final match of the night.
What you got?
CM Punk versus Gunther. Bleacher Report predicts Gunther.
I think all the what ifs in this Paul Heyman and Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed thing will be for naught because Seth isn't who you think he is. I think he's going to come cash in at SummerSlam.
So a lot of people are saying that. I heard just recently, what if he cashed in on night 2 during the Cody and John Cena match, though? Because that would allow both Cody and Cena out of that match as baby faces.
And then then they move him to SmackDown. Then what happens unless they're going to flop the titles?
They show up on both shows all the time now.
No, but they separated that because you got the SmackDown champion, you have the Raw champion, right?
Well,
So
yeah, but again, they show up on both shows all the time. And who knows? Maybe they sit there and they go, "Yeah, we are going to move those 3 guys all over to SmackDown."
yeah, I don't want them. If you're a champion on SmackDown and champion
I agree.
Raw,
I agree.
That's
why, as intriguing as an idea as it is, I don't want to see it. At least not now. If you want to do it like come Royal Rumble time, when they really do start mixing the rosters back together to lead up to WrestleMania, that's something else. So this is one of those situations where you say you think Seth's going to cash in. The best way for a Seth cash in, if it's going to happen at SummerSlam, is to make it a triple threat match, because that also allows Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed to come in and help him win, because it's a no disqualification match.
Well, that's what they did with Naomi. She cashes in during the match, and then it becomes a triple threat match.
Right, but a triple threat is a no disqualification, which would allow those other 2 guys to come and wreck shop. Which, by the way, makes it exactly the same type of match as WWE's been booking for the world title matches since Roman had his 4-year damn title run. The whole, all of a sudden there's a bunch of run-ins. Every match. John Cena's like, it's always let me grab the belt and hit somebody.
They don't necessarily have to make it a triple threat match. I mean,
no, the other way to do it is
they do a ref bump.
Well, or you do, let's say Punk wins the title, right? Punk wins the title. All of a sudden, Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed come down. Tsunami, spear, tsunami. Seth comes in, cashes 1, 2, 3. Seth's your new champion, and you've basically done the double dip skadoosh.
Yeah.
I think everybody is hoping for the Seth cash in.
If it doesn't happen, CM Punk's going to win that belt. And then CM Punk, then that still carries on the CM Punk Seth Rollins storyline.
Well, so the whole point though is that Seth Rollins, just like CM Punk said about Drew McIntyre, Seth Rollins said, "I will never let CM Punk win that title as long as I'm here." So maybe they play up the Seth is hurt, so he can't be there. CM Punk wins the title, and then Seth has to figure out a way to cash in and take it from him before WrestleMania.
Okay.
All right, night 2 predictions. All right, so we're going to start here with Women's Intercontinental title match, no disqualification, Lyra Valkyria versus Becky Lynch.
I don't see them taking it off Becky yet.
And how does Bayley get left off of SummerSlam?
I think Bayley might have a hair up her ass about that, and I think she might come and interfere in that match somehow.
Another interference, but yes, I kind of agree.
I mean, I know it's a lot of interferences, but that's what they do.
Steel cage match for the United States Championship, Jacob Fatu versus Solo Sikoa. I think Solo walks out with this belt. Because, I mean, with it being a steel cage match, you know there's going to be outside interference. Fatu's going to go to walk out the door. Someone's going to slam the door in his face. They're going to make him the biggest baby face on SmackDown.
Yeah, Fatu will probably get it back around either. If he doesn't get it back at Survivor Series.
Probably Clash in France. I could see him getting it there. Intercontinental match, AJ versus Dom.
Dom keeps it.
You know, AJ has been doing some of the best work of his WWE side. This is a former, 5-time WWE champion?
Yeah, why is he going for mid-card now?
Well, he's towards the end of his career, and he's working with the next generation of really, really. I mean, Dom is on a roll right now. I want to see AJ win it though.
I
want to see. I think, and unfortunately, I think with AAA Mania or whatever's coming up that they're going to be showing on YouTube, that Dom has a match on that as well. So I could see AJ actually if it happens before SummerSlam, I could see AJ interfering in that match.
Mm.
If it happens after it, I could see Dom maintaining the title just so he shows up with the Intercontinental title at that. Okay. So I don't want to be wishy-washy on a prediction, so I want to say AJ Styles wins. WWE Women's World Championship, Rhea Ripley, Io Sky, and Naomi, the champion.
Naomi just won that belt.
Yeah,
I don't see her losing it. Yeah, I don't see her losing it anytime soon.
I could see Bianca helping her keep it. But again, that's more outside interference.
Yeah.
But this one's already...
I really like Naomi. I like Naomi's her work. Her work, dude.
She is on fire.
Yeah.
And you know what's weird about that? When LA Knight was on fire like this, they didn't pull the trigger. With Naomi, they let her lose. She caught fire with all these losses, and all of a sudden it's like they strapped a rocket to her ass.
Because people started cheering for her. Even though she was heel and she was losing, people were fucking cheering her.
Dude, what if Rey Mysterio? I just saw Chris Barrett say Rey Mysterio has another 20 years in him. But what if Rey Mysterio actually helps Dominic win this match? Could you imagine Rey Mysterio going heel at this point in his career?
No.
Me neither. So, all right, let's see. So yeah, I think we both agree Naomi. Like I don't think it was just for shock value. Give it to her. Just take it off of her. And
she earned it.
At this point, Rhea Ripley and Io Sky don't really need it.
No.
And I think they just need to blow off the feud. Street fight for the undisputed WWE Championship. Cody Rhodes versus John Cena. Did they do anything on SmackDown? Obviously I didn't see it, so. Or was Cena not there, so they had to do it all the way?
I don't remember, honestly.
So this has Bleacher Report is predicting Cody Rhodes.
Somebody else was saying Cody, but
well, they're thinking double turn.
Cena has what? So what? He loses it, he turns face, and then he wins it back before he retires again.
I don't think he wins it back. I think that after he doesn't have the title anymore, he doesn't need the title ever again. I think that going from here on out, it's going to be grudge matches against people. But I could see him being like, I need to make it back up to the WWE universe if they want to pull the double turn. But I could see him going after Cody Rhodes again for, Clash in France, the Perth thing, it's unfortunate. It's
You think
unfortunate because this is where I would start putting Cena against some of the younger talent, just so you get some of those cool matches like a Braun Breaker versus John Cena, because you want Braun Breaker to be your guy for the next 20 years, right?
you can still do that if they turn him face.
Well, if they turn him
But you
face,
think
they definitely can do that.
so? You think that do you think they're going to pull the trigger right now and make Cody, who is like the biggest face, the biggest merch seller, all this stuff, and turn him heel?
I think that Triple H was forced into where they are currently because of The Rock. And The Rock has now been out of the creative side for the last 5 months. Travis Scott's no longer involved in the creative side. This guy's not, so if Triple H wanted to turn Cody heel, then this is the right time to do it. The little hints and everything have been there. Cody wearing the watch that The Rock was wearing on the January Raw. The wearing the same exact glasses that The Rock wore. Cody doesn't wear glasses.
Didn't pick up on that.
So, and of course the way that he made John Cena sign the contract was a heel move.
Yeah.
There's no other way around that. Although I did find it really, really funny that how they did that whole segment. John Cena sitting there like, I'm sorry, I'm just not going to be able to be at SummerSlam. You'll get your match, but I've already got an engagement. I've got Peacemaker coming out that month. I can't go having a match at SummerSlam when I got Peacemaker coming out.
That was hilarious.
It was really good work. It was really good work between the two of them. And when Cody ran all the way out to go grab him, run him back into the ring, and then did the splash through the table, that's heel, man.
Okay. All right, so you're saying who you picking?
I think that they have to get the belt off of Cena, and right now is a good time to do it.
Okay. So you're picking Cody.
I'm picking
Cody too, but I wasn't going for the heel turn Cody, but okay.
Yeah, I could see the whole John Cena actually thinks about hitting him with the title, then he drops it out of and then Cody sits there and does the, who knows? Cody turns heel, they gotta be able to they gotta nail it,
Yeah.
Because you're right. He's hot. He's got his own podcast right now. They're really focusing on that. Don't know if you noticed, but they canceled the After Night 2 comedy thing with Tony Hinchcliffe.
Tickets sales suck.
Dude, from what I heard about the one at WrestleMania, it was a shit show. So I'm not surprised. It just blows my mind that they would announce it and then just be like, yeah, no, we're canceling that shit. They added Cody to it thinking that it was going to add people.
Yep.
And it didn't. Although this also has me thinking that if Cody turns heel, you don't necessarily want him do stand-up comedy later that night. So,
no, I think that comedian. I'm not going to say what I think of him, but I think that's yeah. So I think that had to do more with him.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that reviews of the last one went badly, and I think that he doesn't positively promote the product. It just doesn't seem like
I think a lot of the things who he associated with, and some of the jokes and things he told while he was in that association soured a lot of people. So I'm surprised that WWE is still working with him, but it's not my company.
All right, brother. I've got nothing else. That is the end of the predictions. We went a little bit longer than I thought we were going to there. Not too bad though.
No.
So why don't you tell everybody how to reach you?
I am on Blue Sky, Tino G. I am on SC Tino on the Snapchat. I am Tino R. Gray on the TikTok. We are Potsy and Tino on X, Potsy and Tino Show on Facebook. We're here each and every week on the Pots and Pan Network. Please subscribe, give us a thumbs up, like, buy our shit. We can't really say it, but we still want to promote these guys. Adam's House Cat, the wrestling song. You can get it on iTunes for 99 cents. 99
Jones.
So I never said 99 Jones, but that was just 99. And like I said, I don't need to say it anymore because, excuse me, Brooklyn 99 is gone now. So I got 99. So, yeah, give everybody your shots.
All right, folks, follow me on all of the socials at either Rob Potchak, Rob Potsy Potchak, or just Potchak. If you just type that in, it should automatically pull me up. And from there, I think my voice is saying, let's get out of here. So thank you, everybody. Love you all. And we will see you next week. Take a look at some of those videos that I posted from San Diego. And we'll be back Monday night to talk about the fallout from SummerSlam. Good night, everybody.
Night.
Ready? Noise. Ownership insurance and Potsy and Tino.
For the Potsy and Tino Show.
Thanks for watching.
Monday night, it's time to go. Turn on the screen with the good time shows. Wrestling life and who knows what. If it's cool or weird, they're talking it up. It's the Potsy and Tino Show.